And another from the Potteries, a certain Phil Taylor. 3-0 up against a gritty, determined Larsen from Denmark. But
thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope he wouldn't mind me saying this. At the moment, outclassed. Playing well, but outclassed. And in, I guess, another 5 or 10 minutes, outcast. Unless we see the most remarkable comeback in darting history.
Well, not the first to be outclassed and outcast by the power, and won't be the last. John, either Peter Wright will meet Phil Taylor in the next round, assuming, and I think it's pretty fair to assume that Taylor is going to win this game. And the bottom line is, unless Peter Wright puts 15 points on his average, averaging mid-80s in the first 2 games, he'll go the same way. That's the reality. And then Hilton or Mark Webster in the quarters for Taylor. Now that is where it's going to start getting tough, because Mark Webster has been quality.
Ah yes, he could be playing a left-hander, couldn't he? Whichever one of those two. But we mustn't be ahead of ourselves. I think this is as good as one. But let's not assume that Peter Wright's going to be a pushover. I think Per Larsen now has just about reached the stage where he's acknowledging to himself that it's nearly all over. It's the poorest he's thrown in the match. But Taylor, the perfect time for a 180 now. To leave 32, triumphant 180. He's doubled his tally for the tournament. And let's have one from Larsen now. He enjoyed that, I'm sure.
Well, Phil Taylor has been chucking away for 14 legs in pursuit of a maximum, and he's finally got one.
97.
Finally got one, and what's more, John Gwynn, he's left himself double 16 to boot.
Well, we often say when a player's on 2-12, finish it in 4 errors like that.
Second leg is played through first.
Beautiful.
Game on.
And game on still, but not for too much longer, methinks.
13 darter there for Phil Taylor, who looks a much happier man than he did on that night of December the 16th against Gary Mawson. The weight of the world lifted from his shoulders. Delighted to hear the news that his little grandson, baby Jack, is fine now, been born 9 weeks prematurely, now 2 weeks old, everything going great. And I defy anyone, John, who's a father or a parent, not to be affected when their offspring are in some kind of strife.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm a grandfather myself, and funnily enough, I'm a father too, would you believe? But
not necessarily in that order, John.
That's right. Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Well, it's easy to see where Taylor's coming from now, isn't it? They're going in clean as a whistle now. He looks a confident champion, and that, of course, is exactly what he is.
Yeah, the tons and 140s have dried up for Larsen. He's hit quite a number, 34 3-figure scores. He's not let himself down, but he was right in his assertion that he had no real chance against Taylor. Though I think deep down still he felt maybe if Taylor has an off night again, then he would do. And I think that's what he was banking on. But he's thrown some good darts, Rod.
Yep. Taylor beaten by Steve Beaton, and in the group by Ted Hankey at the Grand Slam, by Eddie Lewis at the Grand Prix, by James Wade Championship League darts, by Joe Cullen and Simon Whitlock in floor tournaments.
96.
All over the past few months.
150.
But Per Larsen isn't going to be adding his name to that illustrious list.
The shake of the head tells you that the trebles, which were so readily available to him through the first 3 sets, are no longer. Now then, it's 80, 66 left. Make that 16. Wonderful, wonderful power points.
Double 12 here for Per Larsen. Oh, that would have rocked the power after that brilliant ball with his last dart to leave this shot at double 8.
Yes, for a 16 dart finish, and it was in the middle of the E-nose. There are 2 legs in this match. Per Larsen, that one we've just seen where he missed the double, And the one where he was going for 113 to save the third set, the 2 missed doubles, the last 2 attempts he's had, he really needed those. And now Taylor indulging in the final throws, I think, of this match.
Yeah, this is odds on to be the last leg. So the real question is now, what will Taylor's final average be?
85.
And of course that is an academic point. He's going to win the game, that's what really matters. The best in the tournament so far, 103.26 Gary Anderson. We haven't seen many ton plus averages. Taylor currently at 101 and change, make that 102 and change.
Yes, just about 10 points between them on that. And the Dane is improving his very slightly. So, cometh the hour, cometh the power, and in a minute it'll be goeth the power to prepare
85.
for his next encounter, no doubt. Well, the crowd
60.
gave Phil Taylor a most wonderful welcome as he walked up on the stage. They really do love him, and he loves doing this for them.
139.
To leave 54.
Well, Gary Anderson's tournament best is going to stand, that's for sure. Oh, Larsen lands a maximum with, in all probability, his final throw of the match. A final parting shot, one last defiant act by Per Larsen. Taylor wants 54 to wrap up a straight sets win.
Yes, and he'll look now at double top. Oh, Taylor puts in a wonderful performance, 102.09. Not the best in the tournament so far, but he's moving in the right direction. Per Larsen gave him a game, but frankly, the Dane was outclassed by Phil the Power Taylor to the tune of 4-0.
Does his traditional signing of the board, given to one lucky member of the audience. 102.09 average, 60% on the doubles, but only 180. Strange but true. They're still singing, walking along, singing a song in a Taylor Wonderland. The adoration for that man knows no bounds. Quite simply phenomenal. So what's happened today? If you missed the action earlier on, Mark Webster, 97 average from him, 4-0 victory over Rocket Ronnie Baxter. One of the upsets of the day. Paul Nicholson, the bad boy of Darts 2009 quarter-finalist, beaten by Peter Wright, who of course KO'd Ko Stompy in round 1 of the competition. Andy Hamilton out as well. The in-form Robert Thornton took out 125 and 120 on the way to a 4-0 victory. This is what the draw looks like now. Phil Taylor will play Peter Wright in the last 16 of the competition. Mark Webster against Mark Hilton, who put out Colin Lloyd a little bit earlier on in the evening. Adrian Lewis against Robert Thornton. Adrian Lewis looks in great form. Also in that section of the draw, Simon Whitlock, Dennis Ovens, Wayne Jones and Vincent Vanderbilt. We'll see them in action tomorrow. James Wade, Mensur Suljovic, Wes Newton, Brendan Dolan, Terry Jenkins, Steve Brown and Mark Walsh will be up against Alan Tabern. Mervyn King also in that section there, topping it. Andy Smith, Gary Anderson is prized, the twice world champion Dennis Priestley. Barney against Kevin Medine and Colin Osborne against Jamie Caban. Well, Rod Harrington said the 3-dot average will be somewhere around 103, 104. Just one wrong. 102.09. 1900s, 18 140 pluses, and a broad smile on the face of Phil the Power Taylor. Phil's on his way up to the studio, getting mobbed on his way up now. Rod Harrington's here. Rod, it's as if his fame has just increased tenfold. Incredible the reception he got, and the reception he's still getting out there.
Yeah, I mean, the 2,000 people, and most of them are still here to see him walk up here and wave to them. And yeah, he's incredible. He let me down a bit as he walks in. I said 103, 104 average, and he let me down there a bit, buddy. But you know, no, I mean, I knew he was going to bounce back. I mean, class players like Phil always do.
That's been unbothered.
Well, Phil is here now.
Thank you.
And Phil, congratulations. There's been a lot of pressure on you in the build-up to this match, and you answered quite a few of those critics with a nice high 3-dart average, and you look comfortable up there.
I was better, yes. I was all right, but it was a struggle. I thought he played quite well, actually, Peter Larsen. He's hard work, believe it or not, and every time you get him against the ropes, he seems to come back and fight, and he kept smiling. The worst part was he kept saying it's an honour for me, it's an honour for me, and I couldn't really get the killer.
Do you think anyone's ever averaged 102 over 4 sets and only got 180?
I don't know really. I don't know. But maybe him. Probably I don't know. Maybe Rod. I don't know. It was a strange game actually. It was probably one of the most humble. Because I probably wore that word out since last Sunday. Atmosphere I've ever played in.
But you, I mean, today you had to settle a few demons in your own head, possibly, or the crowd. And no, you had to have over 100 average. Did you show everybody? Hey, I just
not really. I mean, what you're saying is I've got to prove. Thank you. I've got to prove to the commentators. I've got to prove to the people that are, commentating on your game that you can play darts. Well, I don't really. The Stuart Pikes, the John Gwynns, the Edward Dells, don't have to prove anything to them, It's their job to commentate on you and their opinion, I suppose, but they don't know what goes on in your life. That's the problem.
Tell us about
I had my daughter having a baby 3 nights on the trot till 5 o'clock in the morning, and the 4th night I was here and they're saying I'm playing rubbish. And I'm really disappointed in Stuart Pike, and I'm disappointed in Sid Waddell as well. And I'll be the first one to tell them when I see him.
Yeah, what we did say in here was darts.
They don't know. That's the problem. Yeah. They think you go up there. Darts is a massive mind game. Do you know what I mean? Not the BBC Sports personality. It was probably one of the greatest days of my life. I wish I had the trophy. The trophy's been engraved at the minute. I would have put it on there, and it's the proudest thing. Bar from win the World Championships I've ever done in my life. But these people have got to remember, when you're commentating, just think on a little bit and do your research, because they haven't got a clue what they're saying. I was going to say this after the tournament, and I should keep my mouth shut really, but they don't. Sometimes they jump in before they're gone. Do you know what I mean? I was up the day before I played Gary Mawson. I was up 3 nights till 5 o'clock in the morning. I probably had 2 hours sleep. Worried sick in case me little grandson died. Which he hasn't. He's great. Worried sick in case my daughter does something stupid to herself, but she hasn't. So everything's come nice.
What we said in here was you've got to remember that the darts players at every sport.
There's a fella down there tonight. One person in the whole crowd says, "How's your grandson?" And he's named Little Jack, and he's doing fantastic.
Which is fantastic.
Now that means everything. So every penny I win this week, he can have it.
Must make you very proud.
I'm the proudest man in the world. Listen, you would never believe how proud I am. Do you know what I mean? Every tournament I ever won, everything I've ever been invited to, every person I've ever met. My little grandson I had last week means more to me.
And you could tell from the reception that you got.
I can't believe it, honestly. The crowd tonight was so.
To the fans of darts.
Oh, mate, they embraced me tonight. It's different. It's different. Even now they're still waving and they're still kissing me and they're still hugging me, and it's just different. It's so different. My career it's the best career anybody could ever have. It really is.
Phil, I mean, we've known each other a long time.
We've played in loads, haven't we?
Yeah, I've seen some great receptions, but that reception tonight was up there with the best we've ever seen.
Gentlemen, sadly, we're out of time, but congratulations,
You're
Phil.
welcome.
Good to see you back. Good to see you smiling again, and I'm glad your grandson
I am smiling. I've got
is really well.
I was a bit worried before, but it's touch and go,
That's all we've got time for. Taylor, back to his best, just about. See you tomorrow.